Okay, starting off with my bed, which is where I wake up to every morning. I only have 2 pillows on my bed because that's all I use. And at the top, I have 2 posters, but the only reason they're there is because they're hiding some paint chips. Moving on to the side of my bed, I just have this nightstand with a book that I never read and this crate that has all of my vitamins and some lip balm. Then if you move a little to the left and up, you're gonna see my shelves. These are the things that I'm not gonna be bringing to the condo. Down here, I have my trolley with all of my crates. So the first crate contains my school supplies, the second one contains my makeup, and the third contains my skincare. As you can see, they're very neatly packed already because I plan to just put this in the car and then move it. Then at the top of these crates, I have a mirror. This is my door. This is the entranceway to the room. Right here, I just have a Hufflepuff necktie, some PR. On the side, I have 2 posters and some dog stuff. And right here is just a mini electric fan for when I need it. This is our shelf space. It's empty on the other side because we moved all of the books to another shelf. But the only things that are left are some plushies, a uke, Rubik's Cube, and also a cincher board. So this is just an empty wall, but if you move all the way to the edge, you'll see my drawer. So there's this bump in the wall that I decided to decorate with a bag that I thrifted, a poster, and a heart mirror. On the top of this drawer is this electronic crate. It just has some phone cases, wires, online school stuff, my headphones, and on the side is where I keep my camera. On the first 2 drawers, I have my bags. These are all of my bags. I only kept a few. Then over here, I have some essentials. So these are all of my contacts. I have my wallet, some face masks, and I also have my passport right there. Moving further down, the last drawer is empty. The second to the last drawer just has some school documents, some health documents. At the bottom, I just have my hair curler and a memory box. I'm not really a sentimental type of person, so these are all of my sentimental items. Then we move over here, which just has some extra crates and extra organizers. And at the last big drawer, this is where I kept some of the things that I'm gonna be bringing to the condo, like some hangers, extension cords. And before we move on to the desk, which is the last part of this tour, I'm gonna take you all the way to the other side. So this is the other side of the bed. I just have my clothing rack right here. And lastly, to the side of the desk, we have our shelves. So this is what the other side looks like as compared to the side with the drawer. We've got a diffuser, books, random stuff, more books, even more books, a Star Wars shrine, and some Funko Pops. And for the last part of this room tour, let me show you my desk. On the desk itself are just some essentials like my glasses. This cup contains some dog food. We've got a lip product and a brow product and a mirror right here. At the bottom, we have another crate, and right next to it is just a candle that my friend gave to me. For the drawers themselves, this one is empty, so is this one. Right here, I just have some scratch paper and some freebies for whenever people buy from my shop. And at the very bottom, I have the box for my phone, the box for my camera, and these are plastics that I reuse for shipping. And here's where we're gonna end the room tour. This is my sister's side of the desk, so these are her drawers, which is why I'm not gonna open them. And this is the perfect space for me to show you a tour of my digital spaces. Okay, so we are now moving on to my digital spaces. We're gonna start off with my computer. I don't think anybody ever says computer anymore. So I just made this background of canvas. I got the pictures from Pinterest. I like to keep my digital spaces pretty minimal, which is why there's not a lot going on. So the first app that I use is this one. The desktop is empty, and then on documents, I just have some random files for Notion, Zoom, and so on. Downloads, again, empty. Music, empty. And then for pictures, this is where I keep all of my files and my pictures. So we have 2 folders over here. For camera roll, these are all my pictures. I organize it based on personal and school. So for personal, I have pictures of concerts, dogs, events, family, and me. Very vain. And then for school, I organize it based on my elementary pictures, secondary pictures, and tertiary pictures, which there's not a lot because we're still online. So most of these are screenshots. Then moving on to the documents area. I categorize this again into 2 folders. The first one is LaSalle, which is my current school, and then the rest. Now the way I organize my files for college is pretty much the same. This file contains every step that I took to enroll to LaSalle. Then we have all my files for term 1. These are all my subjects, and it's the same thing for term 2. And that is it for the documents and pictures. Moving on to videos. These are just my TV series and movies. So for movies, this is how I organize it. Then for TV series, organized it based on animated, Marvel, and shows. So for shows, I only kept a few things because our downloaded movies and shows are kept in a hard drive. The next app I use is Google Chrome, and I divide my usage based on personal and work. So let's start with work. So this is my workspace. I just added some shortcuts of things that I would need. Like I used Google Docs for my notes. Then we also have Animosis, my LaSalle, AnimoSpace or Canvas. So we have Google Meet, emails, and files. So that's basically it for my workspace. Moving on to my personal space. Again, it's the same thing. I have some shortcuts here of websites that I usually use. And at the top, I just put some bookmarks of some condos that I'm looking at. I also have Notion here, but I think I'm gonna make a separate video for that if you want. And finally, for my laptop, the last 3 apps that I have pinned are Zoom, Spotify, and Netflix. And the last space that I want to show you is my phone. So this is my phone. My lock screen is just Billie Eilish because I'm manifesting Barricade for her concert. So I just have 3 slides in total. The first slide just has my screen time. The second slide is my only and main page. And the last one is just the app library. So everything in my app library is on my main screen because I don't like using that side. It's just so random and you can't organize it yourself. So I don't like that. Now let's focus here. At the top, I have my 12 main apps for this phone. So we have, of course, phone and messages, Spotify. This is my Spotify if you want to follow it, but I just have some playlists. Then we have Duolingo, which is where I learned French. But I also have Carousel, which is where I sell my stuff. Make sure to check it out because I'm trying to sell all of my stuff by the end of the month. Next, I have Telegram, which I only use for school purposes. And then we also have Gmail. And I actually have 4 emails. One is for my YouTube, one for school, one for everything else, and the other one's for sponsorships. And I'll show you an example of how I organize my school email. So for example, I have this one, help desk announcement. Is basically, I call it DLSU spam. So I move it to that label. I got 4 labels. One is for AnimoSpace, which is random emails from Canvas. Then I have DLSU spam, which again is all the help desk announcements. Fresh classes is for course related emails like my grades and so on. And everything else just goes into LaSalle files. Then for Messenger, I don't really talk to a lot of people as well. As you can see, these are all group chats. At the bottom, we have Student Canvas, which is the learning management system that my school uses. We have Google Drive. Next to it, I have Structured, which is where I put my daily routine. Everything's right here. Again, for Notion, if you want a tour in that, go ahead and comment down below. There's so many ants on my desk. At the bottom, I have a folder in between 2 apps, which are the camera app and Ecosia. And the folder contains all the rest of my apps. For example, the first slide has all of my utilities apps or just basic apps on your phone like calendar, maps, Google Maps. I can't delete health and wallet off of this phone. It literally just goes to the app library, which is why I just keep it there, but I never use them. I find my iPhone, I have the clock app, I only have 1 alarm, calculator, and then settings. Again, I still use the downtime on the settings. Basically what it does is it limits the time when I can use a certain app. For example, as you can see, these all have the hourglass symbol on the side, which means if you press it, it says time limit and it will only open at 6 to 7 p.m. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna turn off my downtime and you'll see that it's back open. On the next slide, we have some editing apps. I have Fonto, Eraser, and PixArt for my photos or thumbnails. And then VLLO, iMovie, and Snow are what I use for my videos. And I also have some other apps right there. On the third slide, I've got some school stuff like Canva, Safari, Forest, Google Docs and Google Sheets, Dictionary, Zoom, Meet, and also Discord, which is mostly for school stuff. The fourth slide contains random things like my notes app, photos, voice memos. I have some games right here which I only use whenever I have time on my hands. And then the Flow app is what I use for my period tracker. iHome app is for my CCTV, and then Netflix is for Netflix. The fifth slide is for shopping. I just have Shopee, Gcash, and JMT. So that's basically it. And the last slide are my social medias. I don't have TikTok anymore and I haven't had Twitter in like maybe 3 years. I had the App Store, Wattpad, Facebook. I have Pinterest, but I mostly use that for myself. And my only 2 sort of public accounts are Instagram and YouTube. So that is it for my tours. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm definitely gonna go and look back on this when I'm in Manila. I'll see you on my next one. Bye!